What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, I know that I am so far behind on these comments. You can see here that I'm actually 2 weeks behind, but I am focused. I'm going to get through these. I'm not going to get through them all in this video or in, a couple videos, but I am resolved to make sure that I recognize or reply to each and every one of your comments here. That was the commitment I was trying to make, and we will honor it. It's just going to take me a little time, and there's probably going to be a bunch of these videos over the next couple of days whenever I get these are usually like 20, 30 minutes. So whenever I get that span of time to be able to come in and do that, I will, so that we can catch up and talk about all of the exciting things. So we can talk about all the exciting things, and my conversation, my replies aren't like 2 weeks late when the entire landscape has changed. So let's go ahead. Supreme Victory Network saying RIP Squint for Glint. Hell yeah, let's go. It's all done. I think that's in reference to the new UI. It looks fantastic. So now I'm able to see everything, which is great. I apologize. I'm going to need the fan, guys, because it's hot. So hopefully, I know somebody complained about it earlier, but it is what it is. So hopefully it doesn't bother you guys too much, but I'll bring the mic a little bit closer. All right. So Vivo Sky saying, I thought SPS can hold 3 cents for at least 6 months. That's the best marketing already. More players will start coming in, but instead we keep digging in just real quick. Yeah, I mean, we're about to set a new all-time low. I know I put this video out a couple weeks ago. We're almost there. It's not approaching anymore. We're like right there. So Lord Kagar says, great video. This is the war against bots. Can't agree more. As always, you do a great job keeping track of those numbers. I was always against bots, and looking back, I kind of regret it. Interesting. Okay, well, appreciate the honesty here. It really might have been better letting them be. At the same time, many times I emphasize on how the teams was hitting really hard on real players' experience, taking a lot of good stuff from the rewards, the joy of finding a pack in a chest, all that stuff. Yeah, so hope they can come with some solution, including the return of tradable cards. Yeah, so in looking at the bot thing, and I know I've talked about this several times, it was twofold, right? There was the anti-competitive behavior, which was not just bots, but also the battle helper, right? But high-level bots and battle helper just made it tough. And then you had the bot farms, which are really not, I would say, not as big of a problem from a gaming standpoint, maybe from an economy standpoint. But again, I think what the team has done in terms of reducing the incentives for them, whether in Modern or in Wild, because look at them, they're pretty much gone right now. I think the team did a fantastic job. They wanted to reduce or remove the incentives. I think they did so. So the only other thing now is the battle helper, which again they got Siler on board for, and they got buy-in from the other bonding softwares or programs, services is the word I was looking for. So we'll see where things move in the future, but I'm actually quite excited about it all. Al Rashid, haven't talked to you in a while. I hope you're doing well. All right, so your take is so much different than it is from my vantage point. This is again about the bots. All right, I'll try to skim through this. I competed in silver before the No Leagues update. I now get to Diamond 1 with level 2 Chaos Summoners. I spent 20-30 DEC per day, same as I did back then. 2 to 3 wins pays for my whole rentals. Awesome. The rest is profit, and the Glint and Soulbound cards are all just value on top. I make significantly more SPS per day than I used to. I rent far better cards for cheaper than I used to. And if I wanted to buy cards, they're far cheaper than they used to be. Although I will admit, there's no way I'm putting more money in this game. I questioned the team's tactics over a year ago with previous changes, and I question it even more now. For me, at this point, it's just pure entertainment. So that right there is exactly where I'm at and where I've been for the longest time. When I say I'm not putting any more money in, it's because I'm already exposed, and I'm totally fine with that. And Splinterlands is just a small piece of my portfolio. What I really want to focus on is the gaming side of it, and the gaming side of it is still fun, right? I think there's still a lot of awesome elements. There was a little bit of a rough time with Modern after the league removal, but I'm enjoying it now, and I think that as they bring more bots and liquidity on, it should make it a little bit better. So let's see. For me, it's actually more fun and exciting than it has been a long time. I finally get to play high-level summoners. Let's see. USD from playing is possible, but I extract and sell absolutely zero. For me, it's actually more fun and exciting. Okay, so cool. Well, I'm really glad you're having a good experience. I am in probably a similar part, but let me go ahead and finish this here. The crappy part is it's almost silly to own cards, and it's fiscally mathematically silly, or fiscally it's mathematically silly unless pure speculation. Many of the cards are able to be rented for years to finally equal the cost of buying them. You can own zero, own SPS, and just purely rent and work on getting ROI. So that's I have been buying cards, but that is purely just off of like the earnings that I'm making. So I'm just kind of like reshifting that over. Much different than it used to be. That being considered, I haven't pushed the sell button on anything yet. Same. All that being considered, the halving is coming, and who knows what the next 6 months bring. Could be insane, but if I was a betting man, I think there's very, very low chance of a split on this bull market like the last one ever happening again. I agree, or at least not happening this Bitcoin cycle. I just think the game is in the wrong starting position for this Bitcoin halving. Yeah, they should have been building the last 2 years and then launching like partnerships and marketing now, right? So I look at what Parallel, I look at what Illuvium, a lot of other top games in the space are doing. They are announcing partnerships. They're launching and shipping stuff. And, Splinterlands is still very much in the, we need to redo the entire game, right? In so much. And again, it's not the wrong thing for them to do, but it's the wrong time. It's a delayed time. But, hopefully the bull run is as long as previous ones were in terms of like the 18 months, which, again, I'm looking at Matt's timeline here. Even if they're able to start marketing by the end of this year in Q4, that might be, I hate to say it because I know people are just going to jump all over me, but that might actually end up working out better, right? When when dumb money is already back in the space and being like, oh yeah, we're full on bull run. Maybe that's when you want, people to come and be like, oh yeah, Splinterlands, I heard about this game and I got, I just made, $3,000 off of Solana. Let me go and throw some into this, right? That might actually be better, right? So again, I'm not saying that that's ideal, but it could be the scenario in which we end up in. All right, so Logan Gaming says, I did the same thing. I wrote about in Peak D to hoard glints. Okay, this is why I was not spending any more of my glint, which is funny because the video I just put out, I spent over half of what I had hoarded over the past couple of weeks here. I wouldn't call it a victory if bots left because there's no longer any value to extract. But that's kind of the intention of the team. So granted, okay, so this is where it comes in. It's like, oh, we don't want the bots extracting this value, but we as humans want to extract the value. So the thing is, if the bots can't scale up the same way that they used to, bots are not going to get any utility from playing, right? There's no entertainment for them. Whereas I would hope that for people playing the game, they're actually enjoying it. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying. And yes, if you break it down in pure black and white, you're right that there's no longer any value to extract. Although I disagree with that because there still is. But again, bots and humans are going to have the same incentives, just different ways of achieving it. RK, thank you for the like. I appreciate you. Steve, you said, darn, sorry. You made this before my big buy. Oh yeah, the promo event. Level Up Life says the math doesn't lie. Very cool. All right, so nice work, team. Looks good. This is Splinterlands makeover video. Jeff, or that was from Gouge. This is from Jeff. New mobile format is a massive improvement. I'm glad to hear that. All right, Christopher Charles says, how are you out here playing with a level 6 Molten Ash Golem? A fully maxed copy is $2.70. Get it together. Hey, man, I mean, I'm not putting anything else in. So I either need to sell my vouchers for that, I need to sell SPS for it, or I need to rent out my cards. And when I was renting out my cards, I was actually doing quite well, taking that DEC and flipping it around for some extra cards. But now that I'm not doing that, I'm kind of back to playing with my level 6 cards. All right, so Christopher Charles says, I have to say I was happy when I logged in today and saw the new look. Can't wait for the battle screen to be revamped. Well, it seems like that's one of the few things remaining. I don't know what else there is, but they've redone a lot of the pages. And obviously the battle one's going to be a huge one. But when they do, I'm very excited for that too. Erroneous, it looks good except for those squares. They stick out like crazy. Should be squircles. All right, I'm not sure what you're referring to, but I'll trust your judgment. Tarantula says... thank you for the good vibes on even bad days. I know it's not easy. Yesterday I was considering sell a big chunk of my SPL assets to invest elsewhere, but I decided not to do it. Why? Because SPL is one of the few Web3 games I actually play regularly. It's not the best game in the world, but I like it, and it's great to relax a little bit. Unfortunately, I think we have a huge hype potential with Land, but missed the train entirely. I also think Aggie's proof of time concept doesn't really work so well because it just deters new players who understand that they would only fund early whales. I think new players would still come if they A, sense a huge earning potential, and B, would find the game better than most other games. Both don't seem to be the case, and I don't think a big marketing campaign would change that lack of appeal. Instead of trying to make the core game better, which by now is incredibly complex, I create a set of extreme simple microgames where SPL assets can be used mainly in different game modes. Maybe boss fights, maybe chess, maybe Splinter Poker. I would love that too. I think that's probably out of the scope of what Matt is trying to do. That being said, it's not that I'm not. I'm in the same boat as you. I don't know what Matt's plan is from a marketing perspective. I think that it can be effective, but to your point, in this A right here, earnings potential, that is always going to be the biggest driver, right? That is always going to be the biggest driver. And we're kind of there now. I mean, SPS just keeps falling, which is sad. But again, Bitcoin got kind of dumped today too. But it's just like, man, a 10-cent SPS, and all of a sudden people are making, dozens, maybe even $100 per day, right? Depending on where the value is. That stuff goes viral on Twitter, X, and Discord, and all these other places, right? When people see that, they get interested. They come in, they start telling their friends. There's YouTube videos made, right? And I feel like we're not that far away from it. It's just a matter of getting the tokenomics into a better position. But I don't know. At the end of the day, it all comes down to SPS, right? Card value going up, nobody cares about that. In fact, that's a deterrent for newer players, I would argue, right? And again, it's a weird paradox, because I know Christopher Charles is going to call me out on this. He's going to say, like, no, card value is going up is going to make players come in. Yes, to a certain extent. But in the early days, if people come in, you want them to be able to jump in right away. And I think there needs to be this period where that first part of the hype wave allows for people to come in and buy the last remaining cards available for super cheap. Then card values can go up. But all of that needs to be preceded by the incentive to come and buy the cards in the first place in order for those card values to go up. And that would be the earnings potential. And this is why I'm always big on, like, SPS needs to be the leader. SPS needs to go up. Because I'll tell you this, if SPS stays at a penny and all of a sudden all of these card values go up, I'm telling you, nobody in the crypto world is going to care. Venari Heatsmith can go to 10 cents. We can be talking about it all day, and I don't think people are going to care. Because it's not, like, it doesn't have that same kind of value, right? The tokens are easily findable, searchable. People have a little bit more trust in them, rather than coming in and buying assets in a game that, has the track record that Splinterlands has, unfortunately, right? So it's got to be SPS. All right, inclusion, cool way to spell that. Enjoy your content and always keeping it real. I just saw the new XG Valorant Undefeated and earlier the new G League of Legends Gods video. Riot Games somehow managed to snag the best up-and-coming groups. Not saying Splinterlands can even get XG or New Jeans, but maybe a collab with new fresh K-pop, X-pop group would put Splinterlands on the map and at least create increase awareness. There seems to be a lack of marketing and fresh blood. Well, that marketing is going to be coming in at some point. I mean, if you take Matt at his word, which I do, right? So I believe that it's going to happen, but the team just doesn't believe that the game is there yet. And, if we're speaking honestly here, it's not. But it's getting there. I mean, between even just this year, right? January 1st of this year and where we're at, the game looks and feels better. I don't think people can deny that. Yes, I know asset prices are down, but just aesthetically, right? The game looks and feels better. There's a nice little academy thing that the team has worked on. There's all these different, it's got a better feel to it. And I think we're in a better spot. Andrew says, divested from SPL since last month and converted everything I sold to ETH. Use some of that to go into memes and new projects that are already up multiple times, plus airdrops and points for airdrops. Within a short period, some of the ETH's worth already more than my SPS and cards. I think it's important to be liquid at this stage. I rather dump at floor and recoup loss elsewhere. Fair enough. Well, look, Andrew, I am incredibly happy for you and wish you more success on that. I don't think that was the wrong thing to do. I've been pretty clear about this. And again, this is not financial advice. This is not a financial channel. But whenever people ask, I say honestly, I love the game and I'm excited for where it's going. But I don't think the opportunity is here right now. That being said, since I like the game, the assets that I'm holding have value to me outside of the monetary value, right? I stake and hold, the amount of SPS that I do because it gets me the glint that I want and allows me to level up my soulbound cards. That being said, part of the reason that I haven't put anything else into it is because all that capital is going elsewhere, because there's a lot of opportunity, and I have ridden a very good, hopefully start to the bull run so far, and hope to ride it, continually. But at this point in time, Splinterlands is not it. And I try to be very clear about like, how I'm looking through, where it's just like, I don't even know if the next 3 to 6 months are going to be it either. Right. I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't know. I do think that's going to change at some point, especially, and of course, assuming that we hit a raging bull market. I think some of that will flow down to SPS. I've said before, this is not a price prediction, but my hope is that we get to 10-cent SPS at some point, right? Maybe that's the high, and maybe that's all that we get, but that's kind of like my expectation. And what's interesting is that the closer we float down to 1 penny, that's a 10x, which is not terrible if you wanted to like take that opportunity or take that that trade. But I don't know how much more than that Splinterlands would offer, right? That would get us to like a $160 million market cap, something like that. Oh no, I'm sorry, 120-ish million dollar market cap, which is tiny. But I also know that money's not flowing here. Money's flowing elsewhere into a lot of really new shiny projects. All right, Endless Hope says, on mobile, the new UI is a nightmare. I play it on phone from 2022 with desktop site option enabled without issues until now. From my point of view, phone is even worse. You're the first person to say that. I feel like I've seen a lot of positive reviews on the phone, and for me, it's been better. But I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to on the phone. And I don't know if you used it previously, because nightmare is what I would use to call it previously. It's significantly better now. International Travel Channel, doing your best DJ Khaled impression. I thank you so much for the comments on here. Let's jump into the next one. So Asmon says, so all those saying here this promo event will do nothing and also saying game is dead might be wrong on both accounts, eh? Well, we're now almost towards the end of the promo. So obviously this was 13 days ago, but we sold about 200 million DEC/credits worth, which is what the team was looking to get in the first place. But at the same time, DEC is well below peg. So I think the team probably did not come out on top as far as they were hoping to. Asman also says, like I said, 0% chance of you buying, but that's okay. I'm not buying either. No extra cash right now. Yeah, I mean, just... I know. I said that I wanted one and that I might think about it, but there's so many other things on the list way, way far ahead of that. All right, GG, The Last Gasp says Philosopher976. Rift Summoner says, I play Spelllands for a living, but I reinvest what I earn. I earn my way through years of time and attention. I think people who play the game for a living either earned it or inherited their way, but either way, they add value to the ecosystem, entertainment, which overall... Well, I mean, hey, that's awesome. If you're earning that much in Splinterlands to do it for a living, I applaud you. Salute you. All right, so Alicia says, it's okay, we can agree to disagree that Web3 is gamified DeFi crypto investment, whether you like it or not. For me, what you say is like investing money in a theme park, saying, I'm not here to make money. I invested because I love the rides and I enjoy going to the theme park, but in the end, you invested in the theme park to make money. Otherwise, you would have just purchased a ticket and visited the park as a customer. So, okay, yes. I'm going to give credit to... I'm going to give credit to Walking Keys, because I think he's the one who framed it for me in this way. I've probably been using the analogy of like going to a movie theater or going to an amusement park, which is not the right way to do it. A hobby is the better way, right? This is what Walking Keys said, right? If you view something as a hobby, you're not necessarily looking to make money from it. You can, right? But you're also getting some kind of enjoyment or intrinsic value out of engaging with it in one way or another. So Splinterlands is more so like a hobby where, yeah, I mean, again, I don't even know what hobby would be analogous to this, but you could buy a bunch of stuff for a hobby and it could still have value later. The value could have gone down. The value might go up, right? But you're not necessarily buying it because you expect the value to go up over time, which is what I would think people would do for an investment. So yeah, we'll have to reframe that. I'll have to reframe that and probably use the hobby analogy a little bit more than like going to the movie theater, because that's apples and oranges, right? Like with a movie theater, I'm not going to get any value. I'm not going to be able to hold on to any value, right? Unless somehow I'm able to quantify being able to have awesome discussions with people after some movie that I watch, but that's not realistic. All right. As for Matt saying this is a game first is the reason I'm selling out 100% of what I have in the game and I'm leaving. And it's the same reason you see everyone selling their land and leaving as well. There's no money to be made here anymore. So the core group that wanted a game only and enjoy the game will be left alone, playing together and buying from each other for a long time, as this is not what will bring new players. New players want to make money. Otherwise they would play Web 2. Stop denying this fact, as you do enjoy the game for what it is, but you don't talk about all the money you make from various LP you're invested in on the side that rely on said game to perform if you want the investment to be worth it. Why do you think you moved to Parallel in the first place? Because it's fun or because there is money to be made on top of it? Both. Again, I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong, Elysios, and I'm not sure where we're disagreeing on this. Again, this is Web3, right? The only reason we're here, to your point, is because it is Web3 and there is the opportunity to make money. Now, I disagree with the sense that that you cannot make money here. I think people are proving that wrong all the time, and there's a wealth of opportunities that aren't even game related, such as the LPs thing that, like you mentioned. That being said, is this the best place? Probably not. In fact, I've said I'm not treating this as an investment right now, or at least at this part of the bull run. So yeah, I'm sorry, but I'd rather be honest in saying I'm here as an investment than pretending I'm here just to have fun. And that the game is so much fun when 100% of the people that are currently leaving don't see the fun on top of that. And that's fine. I mean, I don't think that we should be driving investors out. I wasn't a big fan of how the LP, LP incentives were reduced. That being said, I mean, that affected me personally, right? At the same time, I also recognize that that's probably the easiest place to reduce SPS inflation, because the moment you try to take it away from people playing the game, whether it's tournaments, brawls, or ranked, I mean, there's going to be riots, right, and pitchforks. So I don't know where else we could reduce it, but it is what it is. Regarding crypto in the bear and bull market, that's one thing right now. The reason Splinterlands is not thriving had nothing to do with the rest of the market. It has everything to do with the game itself and Splinterlands team doing too little, too late all the time, which makes people leave. Not because asset prices are down, that's normal, but because I no longer trust them to make it go back up anytime soon. Because Matt's vision that is narrowed down to the game and zero business vision for the long term. And again, sorry, as all the above is not against you. No, I didn't take it that way. As I always enjoyed and respected you for what you did for the game and still have the same amount of respect for you. But if all you want is for your back to go up and no one is welcome to hear to have a different opinion than you, it's fine. I still have over 10K to sell on the game. Or so if I would only care about investment, I would pretend the game is good, that everything is fine to be able to use. Hey, I used to love this game, but it's clearly not doing the right thing right now, and it's not no longer a viable investment, nor is it a good game. But I think the new investors players, okay, I get what you're saying. So, much love. So, Elysios, you know me. I mean, obviously this is all through text, at least from your end. I appreciate you. I always appreciate your opinion. I think you think through things very deeply, and I think you're just in the minority of where the community has evolved, and I don't mean that in a negative way, right? When I joined, it was very investor heavy too, right? And I came in as an investor. I'm very clear about that. I came in as an investor rather than a gamer, but I stuck around because I actually enjoyed the game, and I still do to this day. Now, you're probably, and I would say this is on a spectrum, right? So you're probably further on the investor side than the game side or the player side. So therefore, the game lost its novelty for you after a while. Now, I'm going to address what you said here, right? As for Matt saying this is a game first is the reason I'm selling out 100%. So you're not wrong. And here's the thing. I have a lot of praise and respect for Matt for what he's done since he has taken over. That being said, he's everything that he's done has been focused on the game. So to back up your point here, Matt has proven that he can, take a broader look at the game and deliver really cool game items, right? And so I actually get excited. So whether it was the tactics for Rebellion, which I think were pretty cool, or all the stuff that they have planned, with the new player experience, and if he ever gets back to, guilds and tournament revamps, I think Matt can deliver on that. I think he's proven that. What he has not proven, neither him nor Aggie, is the ability to get the game economy in a better place. Now, his thesis, and he's been very clear about this, right, is that you need to bring in a lot of players. And in order to bring in a lot of players, you need to have a good functional game that people not only want to check out, but want to stay in forever, right, or for a very long time. So he's taken this two-pronged approach, right? Part one is fix the game. Part two is fix the economy. Now, again, if you believe in that, or you're just too afraid to sell, or FOMO, whatever, right? Like you'll probably stick around, because it's like, well, he's proven he can do the game. He has not proven he can do the economy, even though he's talked about it a lot, right? So the whole like make vouchers scarce again, make whatever. Again, I'm not saying, I'm not trying to throw shade at Matt. I'm actually trying to say that he hasn't proven it yet, because that hasn't been his focus. But at the same time, in a bear market, it's okay. Sorry, it's not even okay. In a bear market, it's easier to stick with a project, because when it's down, because everything else is down. There's nowhere to run to. But you can very clearly see over the last 6 months, and especially the last 3 to 4 months since the beginning of the year, that we are in a bull run, right? A lot of tokens have popped off. A lot of games have popped off. A lot of games have made announcements and expansions and all these different things, which has been pretty cool. So it's much harder to stick with something when you feel like it's just dead weight, right? It's not moving with the rest of the marketplace. So I understand why people are leaving. I wish them all the best. I actually agree with their thesis, right? That there's opportunity elsewhere right now. That being said, maybe for me, maybe it's just the emotional attachment I have to the game. Maybe it's just whatever you want to call it. I'm not willing to sell. I'm not willing to sell at this point to say like, okay, I'm just going to get rid of all my assets and go elsewhere, because A, I like the game. Think about, the hobby reference earlier, and B, I don't want to miss out in case things do turn around. If and when they do turn around, I don't want to miss out, and I get to enjoy the game while I'm here. But as I've been very clear, it's not like I'm pouring, I'm not pouring money into the game. And in fact, I mean, somebody just called me out. Like, why am I playing with a underpowered level 6, level 6 Molten Ash Golem? I could buy one for less than $3. Well, less than that, because I already have it level 6. But it's like every other dollar that I have is not going here. It's going elsewhere, or it's probably buying Bitcoin at this point, just considering everything. But that's a conversation for a different video or live stream. All right, so hopefully that covered your comment here. But Alicios, always appreciate your thoughts. RK3000, 30,000. Alicios is an NPC bot, in my opinion. I said it changed my mind. Auto like triggered. Well, guys, come on, be nice. I mean, Alicios has been here. This is okay, and this is what's tough. Is that the community has almost like cannibalized itself, right? Like it's just, you have people that are like on very different sides of the spectrum, and so therefore like it builds a lot of like ill will. And now I'm hopeful that in the return of a bull run, a lot of this stuff gets swept under the rug, at least for a 6 to 18 month period worth of time. But we're not there yet, unfortunately. Okay, so M Demon, nice. Well, thank you for the comment. Power says, slowly selling my assets. All my Rebellion set is now on the market. At this point, I'd rather take the funds and put it in Doge. Ready for the bull. All right, Doge to $1. All right, Power says, not changed my mind. That was on the promo event. Aspen says, all this talk about best player in the game is silly. How many players have a chance? 20, whatever. I mean, literally every card. I mean, I know there's no way to tell who's actually the best player, but I do it anyway. Phoenix says, this video is an important reminder that a good chunk of actual people in the ecosystem aren't subjected to all the salt mound found in Discord. Most likely don't even watch videos like this one. They just play the game and roll with the changes. There is a hardcore base here that will probably continue to support this game, I think, even through another cycle and another bear market. And that's assuming Splinterlands does nothing this bull run. Excuse me. But whether that core group grows over the bull run, that remains to be seen. So Vilson Talk says, again, it's crazy to me that people decide to liquidate at the worst possible time when they had better opportunities. Vilson, I mean, yes, it goes against investing mantra, right? Buy high, sell low. Yet at the same time, I understand why people are doing it. Other things are popping off. 5, 10x here and there, right? Like you'd be able to come back and buy back into Splinterlands if you really wanted to. And that's a mindset. Again, this is not financial advice, but that's a mindset that I actually understand, and maybe even considered. Right? I haven't done it. I'm not doing it, but it's like, okay, SPS is at like 1.2, 1.3 cents right now. If the bull run picks up, and you'll be able to tell, right? Because Bitcoin might be hitting new all-time highs, other tokens start going up. You'll probably be able to get in early enough on the upswing, right? Like if all of a sudden you see SPS go from 1.3 to 2 cents, and you know that we've been able to hit 3 cents in the recent past, you can look at that and probably think, a lot of people might come in at that stage. So, again, I don't know. You guys do what you want to do. I'm just saying. All right, so Kingbo says, I'm not making the leaderboard and I don't care for the henchling, but decided to grab Baron off the secondary market. Got a max copy for 123. Nice. Yeah, that I don't know if I like the way that sale played out, because they just printed a bunch of extra copies for that leaderboard thing, which is weird to me. But hey, you know what? If the card is cheaper for folks and everybody liked it, then it is what it is. I'm also saving Glint, says Marcor. All my cards are max, and I even have 2 max Iziard. Man, I wish I could get one of those. All right, so I love opening the chest too, but people will get used to the new system. A lot of the new things added to the shop. Yeah, I'm liking the shop so far. Well, I'm recording this after they've added in the new guaranteed rarity draws, which is awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut this. Man, okay, so we'll get from 14 days down to 12 days, and then we'll cut this off and continue on tomorrow. All right, so bought 1 Baron and 5 Henchling. Would like to get the Baron up to ambush. We'll try to get him off the secondary. This is from Erroneous. I thought Hive Engine was going to be convoluted and hard to use, but it wasn't. I just bought Hive using the Hive keychain. Went to Hive Engine, deposited Hive. Yeah, no, I mean, Hive Engine's actually pretty easy. But then again, you know what? I've been here for a while, so everything's kind of second nature to me. I'm glad you were able to figure it out. Erroneous says, I like all the new changes. Glint Store needs some tweaking, but otherwise, good changes. All right, cool. I think that's all we'll go for right now. And then I'll come back and, like I said, probably do more of these over the next couple of days. That's all I have for you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day. Catch you all on the next one and see you around the game. Take care.